Hello, if you are someone watching this, you're someone who's done quite a bit of inner work. You are on a spiritual journey. You understand yourself quite well. Like you can go there and you can see facets of yourself. You can go into the shadow, you can hold the dark. Like you want to bring your unconscious into consciousness because those are the kind of people who are drawn to me. You're not drawn to me if you're new to this. If you're new to this, you're like, ooh, that's a lot. So if you're here and you're watching this, you have gone into the depths. And something that we often have resistance to is that it's really difficult for us to see what we have normalized in our lives. And my whole desire is to move everyone in the world, which I know is a big ask, out of scarcity, survival, and contraction and into connection, abundance, and expansion. So just sit with that for a minute. Tinkerbell really loves this topic, obviously. Just sit with it. Like, think of all the ways that we are wired for scarcity. I saw it come up in myself this morning. So silly. Like, it was on a Poshmark order. And the woman gave me a deal because I had liked the dress, right? And it was a great deal. And I was like, and it was a yes in my body. Like, it was a yes. It was like, yes, I want this dress. And I decided to offer something a little bit lower that would really only save me $30. And after I did it, I could have done one of two things. Like it's making me kind of teary. I could have justified it, or I could have, gone into like explanation. Instead, I really sat with myself because I was like, this is only $30 difference. I really want this dress. Why did I do that? And I was like, oh, it was scarcity. It was this shooting on myself of, you shouldn't buy this dress. There's no reason why I shouldn't. This is old conditioning, right? And these are so sneaky. These ways are so sneaky because it's very easy to justify why I made an offer. She accepted it, by the way. So I made the quote unquote right choice because she accepted the offer. However, the truth was that I was functioning from scarcity. And I had the thought while I was in the sauna this morning, I was like, well, if I if I bring this to light and I process this through, she's going to accept the offer. But if I hadn't brought it to light, I maybe would have missed out on the dress. Then I would have justified it. I would have justified it, and it would have turned into this whole mess inside of me and shoved into the unconscious, and I wouldn't have recognized where I was functioning through scarcity. Now you might be wondering, why is this making you cry? Well, it makes me cry because I'm accessing truth. I get excited when I access truth. Like it's this pure feeling through my cells, through my whole being. And when we can bring this stuff into consciousness, like these tiny, like seemingly insignificant ways that we're functioning through scarcity, our entire lives transform. And that is my desire for the whole world. And it's Tinkerbell's too. Welcome to the Yarrow way of healing, expanding, spiritually transforming, and mastering energetics. I am your host, Yarrow, spiritual mentor, leadership mentor, nervous system genius, clinically trained therapist, and all around energetic sorceress, which means I'm a master of energetics. Now, if you take the situation that I was just discussing, it's so easy for us to do these seemingly inconsequential things on the day to day. Like, oh, I made an offer instead of just buying it immediately from what she already offered me. Or, I contracted and didn't buy myself the nice candle. Or I, got into a little bit of an argument in the grocery store over who knows what, right? Like just there was like weird energy in the grocery store. I'm driving and I'm like getting really pissed off at the drivers, and then I'm like rigid and controlled and berating myself if I make a wrong turn. Like all of these things seem really small. They're not. These are the things that make up your life. These are the things that actually thread through your life and become the way that your life is created, the way your life is composed. And you might be thinking, oh, it's a lot of work to really be thinking that much about how I'm moving through my day. And here's what I'll say to that. It is until it isn't. I'll say it again. It is until it isn't. Because it's learning a new way of being. And once you learn the new way of being, you actually no longer relate in the old way of being. So as you start to bring these things into consciousness, and I will again use my Poshmark example, the next time it's a yes for me on Poshmark, or around something, I will stop. And before I do the thing where I made the offer, even though she accepted it, and you could be like, well, she accepted it. So you made the quote unquote right choice. Yeah, sure. But had I not brought this to consciousness, would she have accepted it? There's the question. Chicken, egg. Um, so I'll use that as an example. So the next time I will sit with myself and be like, okay, am I coming from scarcity in this? What's actually happening in my body that is causing me to not just say yes to this thing I desire, it's only $30 more, right? Literally, once I made the offer to what she had originally offered me, it's only $30. I risked losing it. So then you could say, well, did you not want it enough? It's like, no, I really wanted it, but I allowed scarcity to overtake me. And we do this a million times a day and we don't realize it, which is why we need a clean mirror. We need someone who can suss out our sneaky energy, our sneaky behaviors, the ways that we are showing up in the world that we actually don't realize we're doing it because we have so much unconscious material. And this is everyone. And this is why being in a program with me where you have daily voice noting is so powerful. Because when you have daily voice noting, you have someone who can be like, oh, I noticed you said this thing. Let's talk about the energy behind that. So, and it's so many times my clients, when they originally start with me, they're like, oh God, Yaro, you're picking on this inconsequential thing. Like, why are you fixating on this? I'm fixating on it because this inconsequential thing, and I will use not the example of me and my Poshmark, but I have a client who used to drive and get really hard on herself when she'd make a wrong turn. And then she would carry that with her throughout her day. What do you think was happening in her day? She was meeting a lot of resistance. She was having a lot of blockades. She wasn't receiving abundance. She wasn't experiencing joy. She was controlled and rigid and shut down. And because that's how she was operating through her day, that is what she was being met with because we are a mirror for the world. Now, for her, that was totally normal. And the first time I pointed it out to her, she was like, why are you picking on me about this? Like, it's not a big deal. I'm like, it actually is. Let's talk about why. Now that she's been with me for a few years, she just like, if I sense something, she just gets curious and excited about it. Because once you can just get curious and excited about it, you just know that on the other side is so much ease and freedom in your being, right? Like, we don't realize how much constriction and suffering we are creating through the way that we move through the world, through the way that we operate in the world, through the way that we're greeting the world. Like, you are the mirror for the world. Do you recognize that? Like, I am a mirror for this beautiful flower and for my sweet little cat who like wants to attack the flowers. I'm also a mirror for the man who got annoyed with me when I was driving yesterday. I stopped myself and was like, what is happening for me energetically that I am creating this energy, right? And so often we don't do that. We just project out. It's his fault. Maybe, but like I had a moment where I was like, oh, I'm sensing some aggressive energy within myself. Listen, I'm a Leo rising in the first house. I have a Leo Lilith, Black Moon Lilith in the first house. I also have a Leo Jupiter. I've got a lot of Leo. I have an Aries midheaven. I am fiery. I'm like, let's go. You want to go? Let's go. I will fight. And I love it. Like, I love a good debate. I like really want to like go in there. I'm a little bit aggressive. I have to pull it back sometimes. Like, okay, shh, calm down. But because I've recognized this about myself, it can be fun rather than like combative. And I have a little bit of a tyrannical edge to me, which also can now be fun rather than aggressive because I've learned how to work with it. I've brought the ways that it shows up unconsciously into consciousness so I know how to work with it. Now, I know I said previously, this is why to be in a program where you have voice noting option every day. You can learn to do this on your own. It's just more difficult. Like, it's really hard for literally all of us, myself included. Like, I have so many people who are my mirrors. And one of the reasons I have so many people is because the levels at which I do this, I paused because it just sounds so arrogant, but here we are with my Leo rising and my Leo in the first house and my Leo Lilith. The levels at which I uncover the stickiness in your being, I've never seen anything like it. Like I downloaded Enlightenment on the Dance Floor of Rave when I was 19. I entered the yoga world and I was in the yoga world and the healing world for like 20 years. I've studied with Dr. Gabor Mate. I went to Pacifica Graduate Institute and had a beautiful program. I've never seen anything like this. I have clients who are therapists who are like, I learned more from you than I did in my entire grad school. Like, this is my life's work. I am deeply dedicated to helping people unravel the stickiness from their being. Now, when you sit with that, like think about what I mean by stickiness, the ways that we show up that are sticky, that are contracted, that are creating resistance, like creating resistance. And we don't even realize we're doing it because it's so normalized. And we're constantly creating resistance in our being. And then we're not receiving what we desire to receive because we're creating this resistance in our being. And it is my whole mission on this planet to help us release this stickiness. And this stickiness can look like control, rigidity, hypervigilance, overthinking, people pleasing, overdoing, like attachment energy. Attachment is a plague on humanity. We are attachment based creatures. And when we aren't effectively attuned to, which is none of us, we will have an insecure attachment style, which means we will be gripping on and holding tightly to get our needs met. And until we develop secure attachment, we actually can't be non attached, which the goal is to be non attached. And non attachment doesn't mean aloof, it doesn't mean not caring. It means being able to be with all things in each moment. So, like if you're angry, to fully be with the anger, to transmute it through your being. If you're sad, to be able to cry and really be with that until you come to the other side. If you're joyful and ecstatic and happy, to really be with that. And I always tell my clients, you can't experience full joy if you have unprocessed pain and grief and shame inside of you, because you're going to avoid the unconscious pain and shame and grief. And then that's going to constrict you. Notice what I'm doing with my hands here. It's going, if you're watching the YouTube, if you're on the podcast, I'm like closing my hands and constricting my body. It's going to constrict you. It's going to constrict your nervous system. It's going to create tightness. It's going to create tension. And then what does that do? That creates resistance. And so all of these ways are all unprocessed trauma responses in your nervous system that have kept you safe. And until we actually create enough safety in your body to bring to consciousness the ways that you're protecting yourself, you're going to be running through the world protecting yourself, which is going to inhibit you from receiving clients, money, jobs, romantic relationships. And if you're in a relationship, love and connection with your partner, it's going to blockade you from how you relate to your kids, from how you relate in the world. Like you show up in the grocery store and like people are weird with you. That's coming from what's happening with you. You show up in the grocery store and you're shiny and you're expansive and people are loving with you. Then there's a whole other thing. You have to know your energetic boundaries so you're not taking everyone's shit in or allowing people in. To have discernment. It's a whole other topic. We're not going to go there today. And so when you're in a program with me, like my group program, The Composer, which is an 8-week program designed to rewire your DNA, help you embody your pleasure and leadership so you can create a life that feels free. We have daily voice noting. And then one of the beauties of that is you'll just be telling me things totally unaware, and you'll say something and I'll be like, let's talk about that one thing. And we'll break it apart. It really could make me cry. And all of a sudden, everything makes sense. And you can see all of the ways that you have been restricting and blocking yourself from creating what you desire to create in your life. And it's so freaking cool to witness this. And it happens in the silliest of ways. It's like, if I can notice if you ride chaotic highs and lows, if you're allowing stress to be being addicted to stress, like it's just through these tiny things of like, oh, I woke up in a panic. And then you say it maybe a couple more times. Let's talk about how you keep waking up in a panic. No, I don't keep waking up in a panic. No, you've said it 3 times. Let's talk about this. There's something here. These are things we don't notice because they're normal to us. If you're complaining about pain in your back, I had a client who was like, oh, my back hurts, my back hurts. I'm like, what's going on? You're always complaining about your back. And then we uncovered, oh, this was a way I got attention from my parents by complaining about something that was wrong with me. And these are so sensitive too. Like you're not going to want to touch them because they're the way you've gotten your needs met. And then you're going to have shame about it because it's not the most like glorious way to get your needs met. But once we unpack it, it's like such a beautiful relief on the other side. It's like, oh, I can see that. One of my clients will always be like, I can see that now. And I'm like, we've been together long enough that I'm like, why couldn't you see it in the first place? and and because she has learned the system, right? And so it's like, and we say that with love to each other. It's like we have such intimacy. It's like a joke at this point. But it's like once you learn the method, you can see it. And now she is starting to see it. She's like, oh, I noticed I did this. Oh, I had that thought. I saw that I was doing that. And then there's so much freedom. Like literally, if you ever want to know what it's like to work with me, ask my clients. They will be happy to tell you the levels of freedom and also that I'm really fucking annoying sometimes. And that's okay because I help them create this ease and freedom in their life. So if you would like for me to pick you apart in the sweetest and most loving and sometimes annoying of ways, I have one spot left in my group program, The Composer. We start on April 21st. We have live weekly calls. You have Telegram access 4 days a week. You have 45 videos in the program. It is an 8-week program. Message me on Instagram and I will send you the link. You can go to my link in my bio. You can go to my website, yarok.com. You have all of the details there. I also have a free experience called the Diamond. It's a 5-day Yarok Way experience and it's free. It's the first time I've done something free since August of 2024. This is for the woman who wants to embody being the diamond, the woman who knows how to stay with herself, to become the diamond. So same thing. You can sign up, link in bio on Instagram, send me a message, go to my website. That one's on my website right now. Go to my link in bio on Instagram. Those are the two primary ways to work with me at this moment in time. I also have the portal, which is my 6 or 12-month group mentorship program. That is a beautiful place to land in such powerful community. If you have any questions about any of these, please let me know. Pay attention to the ways that you're relating to the world, to the attachment energy. Because when we attach, we are creating safety for ourselves. When we get to non-attachment, we are free. And non-attachment will ask us to let go of these sneaky, subtle ways that we are creating protective defenses and blocking ourselves from receiving and composing the most beautiful lives.